Welcome back to Firewood, fella. So I had a friend of mine reach out to me last week here needing some wood. After a brief conversation, I quickly realized, or we both quickly realized, that he does not need a face cord. He's got an SUV, he's just going out camping for a weekend at his in-laws' cabin or something like that and wants to bring some wood up and doesn't want to spend an arm and a leg at a gas station store. And I said, I got you covered. I said, I don't really got much ready to go right now besides probably just some pine, and he said that'll be fine. He just wants a couple pieces of hardwood or a bundle of hardwood to cook over, I guess, or something like that. So I'm gonna make up some pine bundles for him here and maybe get a bundle of some mixed hardwood here. So let's get making some bundles. So I bought this bundler with the hopes to make some bundles, to make a bundle stand at my house. But because of what happened last summer, of me having to go back to school for my new job, I did not do very much splitting at all. And because of that, I am struggling right now to get dry wood. Everything that I've been getting, all the ash I've been splitting up here recently, it is going out within about a month. Which is a good thing and a bad thing, because I'm trying to build up inventory for next year and it is not working very well right now. So I am hoping that this summer will be a little bit different. I got a lot of wood here in the yard. I got all that cherry and that maple tree I took out of my parents' front yard. I still got to cut that up and split that. All the cherry from the farmer that I got back in April. It is now June. I still haven't split any of that yet, and I'm planning on having all that ready for next year's wood. I have picked up a bunch of hard maple from the landfill. I got some of that split already, and I'm going to be saving that for next year's wood as well. I'm just kind of behind on where I would like to be right now, and I've bought wood in the past from people on Marketplace, and that has usually not ended up very well for myself. So not exactly sure if I want to do that again, but the campground that I've been selling to, I guess that one of the older gentlemen that was doing it, that I didn't realize was doing it, is no longer doing it. So between last fall and now this spring and into the summer, I have probably gained, oh, I don't know, 15 campers or so between then, and they all want a face cord, which is fine. Some of them combine with multiple other sites where I can kind of deliver multiple at once, but I do not have the inventory to keep them fed all summer long here. And there's a couple of them that have been regulars for a couple of years, and I know that they order 2 to 3 times a year, one face cord at a time. They've already ordered once with someone else that it was new, and he's got enough to do probably at least a full cord, if not 2 full cords of wood. And he was talking about wanting to get another order in the fall so it can sit all winter over there, which I would love that idea, because I don't have to sit on it in my yard all winter long, and I can get rid of it then. And then, since it's campfire wood, if it's not quite fully seasoned yet on my end, I'm willing to part with it, because I know by the time they get back to the camper in April, it should be ready to go by then, because the campground shuts down October 15th. So, and they don't get back in until sometime in April. So you got 5 to 6 months of drying just right there alone. So with that being said, that's a great thing to have there. And then also I have another camper, a different campground. This guy has been buying from me for the last 4 years, and he gets a full cord at a time along with his cousin, that they're both at the same seasonal, and they each get a full cord at a time. And I know he wants another full cord each, and I do not have the inventory ready to go, but they order every fall. They don't want pine because they cook with it throughout the year. So I gave him oak and cherry a couple years ago, and he was okay with the cherry but wasn't a huge fan of the oak. So I'm hoping that I can get some more ash split up, and then maybe mix in some maple that I have right here and over there with them as well. My dad is set for the year on wood, probably for a couple years, which will help me out now that I don't have to worry about getting wood for him, because we were discussing that earlier in the year of what is he gonna burn this year, because he finished out what he had stockpiled before from about 7 years ago, over the last couple years. Because he had a good stockpile of wood that he's been burning through for the last couple years, and he finished that off, and he was kind of worried about what he was going to burn this year. And I said, well, worst case comes to worst, we just save you some wood or take the chunks or whatever and you can burn that. But since with my new job, I'm no longer allowed, with my new job, I am not allowed to sell any of the wood that I get from work. So we have that stacked over here separately, and that's where my dad's woods or my wood will be coming from if I ever need some for my house for a fire pit outside or whatever. But unfortunately, no bundle stand for me this year. But I am glad to have this, not only for this right now, but what I'm hoping to do is to be able to start trying to market to smoking bundles next year with all the cherry that I have and some white oak that I got. I'm going to try and keep that stuff barkless and market it as such, and try to charge a higher dollar amount of premium for that sort of stuff and just see how that goes. Not exactly sure how well that will go in my area here, but it's worth a shot. If it doesn't sell, it doesn't sell. Simple as that. And I would like to get a bundle stand or a loose rack of some sort. I just feel that I am not quite ready for that currently, just due to the fact of where I am in inventory wise currently. I do not feel comfortable enough with what I have. If I could get ahead a little bit, which is saying a lot, or I might have to start turning down customers to keep some wood to make bundles with. I just don't know if that's really worth it. I'd rather just make the sale when I can, if I can, that is. So I think the 9 bundles should be plenty enough for my friend for just a couple days at a cabin for the weekend. The express wrapper that I picked up worked great. Way quicker to use this than my other method of making smoker bundles, and I can make them a lot bigger because it's my buddy. I'm just making them 1 cubic foot bundles and just saying good enough. I'm not really being too picky because it's stuff, like I said, this stuff's been sitting here for 2 years and I'm just looking to kind of get rid of some of it. That's all I got time for today. Well, Firewood fella, logging off.